All right, I'm just making a little short video about how to get into adventure riding on the cheap. You don't have to spend a lot of money, and you can have the same amount of fun with a cheap bike and have a dependable bike. I'm going to go over some of the things I look for in a bike when I'm buying it, and what to look for, and kind of save you some money in the long run. I've owned a bunch of bikes, big adventure bikes, and supermotos, and numerous bikes, and I've come to the conclusion that these older Japanese bikes are just as fun as the new bikes. I had an Africa Twin, a Ducati Multistrada, Super Dukes. I've ridden GS's, and so I got a little bit of experience, and I am 60 years old, so I'm not looking for the ultimate performance out of everything, but I would take these bikes, and I have ridden, pretty much all the big passes in the San Juan Mountains of Colorado, and I would pretty much go anywhere I would on any other bikes I ever had. The last dual sport I had was a 501 Husqvarna, great bike, but it was more of a dirt bike with headlights on it, so it was a little raw for me. It wasn't real comfortable. But anyway, I'm going to show what I look for and what I have. I've got two bikes. So this is a 2003 DR650. I got it, and the reason I bought it was because of all the stuff that's on it that you don't have to buy. So if you buy a brand new DR650 with the great bikes, but by the time you put all the stuff on it, you'll have a shitload of money in it. But this bike, when I got it, wasn't running. It'd been in a storage shed for 4 years, so I pretty much took it apart and went through it, kind of cleaned everything and checked everything over, and had to replace this and that. But I got it, and of course it wasn't running. Fuel system was jacked up. But the guy gave me a brand new carburetor that come with it, and it was a factory carburetor. It wasn't a Chinese carburetor. So that was part of the good deal, which I could rebuild the factory carburetor. But the spark plugs are, when you're buying a bike that's not running, it's always a gamble, but the spark plugs on this bike, the burn on it was perfect. So I felt pretty confident it wouldn't be much. When I got the bike, it had these tires on it, and they're Shinkos, they're brand new. So I got new tires. The chain sprockets were pretty new. They come with a big gas tank, which is a huge plus. So that's the gas tank's $350. You had to buy it. And it's got a seat concept seat on it. That's $350. Then it also had this windshield, which I've never had one before, but I really like it because it's adjustable. It folds down. It hinges. I've seen them before, but it's pretty sweet. That's $350. Somewhere in the ballpark. I'm just ballparking this stuff, but so when I got it, it wasn't running, so I tore it apart, and the rear shock had some issues with it. I had to respring it for my weight, and so I tore it apart, went through it, and put a new spring in it. I went through the linkage, the shock linkage. I had to replace 2 bearings in there, and then I re-greased all the other bearings, checked all the wheel bearings, put new brake pads on it. I did lower the foot pegs. These bikes are kind of cramped for somebody tall. I'm 6'2". I went through the front forks. The front fork springs were right for my weight, what I was trying to do, and it had them valves already put in. Somebody already put them valves in it. So I went through that, adjusted the valves on the motor, checked them. And then I had a set of handlebars, so I had to buy the risers to go to the fat bars, which it raised the handlebars up an inch. I lowered the foot pegs an inch. The bike is just perfect for the way I want to ride. And now if you were riding super aggressive, I wouldn't recommend raising the handlebars, but I'm not doing that. But so I put new grips on it. And the bike runs great. It's got 20,000 miles on it. Oh yeah, and I put the headlight on these things are kind of crap on most of these dual sports. And I had an old Jeep headlight, LED Jeep headlight I had laying around. and I modified it to put it in there. This is, I cut it out. This right here is a visor off of a helmet. But anyway, I put new pads on it. The bike runs great. I'd ride it anywhere. Take it cross country, no problem. Ride it anywhere. It's a good packable bike. You can put, a giant loop bag over the back without having panniers and all that stuff. Whatever you want to do, but you can buy the pannier racks for like $20, $30 on eBay, Chinese ones. But anyway, I bought this bike for $2,000, and then I put another $600 in it. So, well, $500 to $600. So I got $2,600 in this bike, and it's great. I mean, I'd go anywhere on it. It's got 20,000 miles on it, which seems like a lot to some people, but really ain't. This bike is, it don't burn oil, it don't leak oil. It's fine. No problem out of it. And it's just a great bike. Now this other bike is a 2004 DRZ 400. My buddy found this for me. Cherry bike, absolutely cherry. Same thing, bike been setting for a while, so the carburetor had to come apart. This is the DRZE. This is the dirt bike version, and the guy had bought it, put a Baja kit on it, and tagged it straight. Which the E is a lot more powerful than the dual sport. It is a huge difference in riding. I mean, it's just weird how much difference it is. But this bike is so sweet. It is so tight. Everything on it is tight. It hasn't been ridden much. And one thing I was going to show you on that bike over there too is I like to look at the rims on a bike, and that's a good indicator of how hard and beat up the bike is in the swing arm. And the rims on this bike are just perfect. Front forks ain't all beat up. So I mean, this bike is just pretty unusually nice for that older bike. But I bought it, and it had the seat concept seat on it. I had to put a tank on it because it had the factory tank on it. I wanted just a little bit bigger tank, and I put the tires on it. So I give $2,000 for this bike. And then I put I put the tank on it, the tires, and did the maintenance, just a little checkup. So I probably got $2,400 in this bike. So I got 24 and 26. So, I mean, my Husqvarna, my 501 Husqvarna, I sold it for, it was a 2016, I sold it for, like $6,000. So what did I got? I got what, $4,800, $4,700, whatever in these bikes. So I got less in both of these bikes than I had in the Husqvarna. And I'll go anywhere that I would on that Husqvarna, especially on this bike. I mean, I take the DRZ on single track. The DRZ is not great on the road. I mean, I wouldn't want to take off cross country on it. And the reason I got two is I just got a good deal on one, and the other one popped up, so I got it. But also, I got two bikes, so a friend wants to ride. But my whole video is about how you can get into adventure riding and not spend a lot of money. I like this DR 650. It just impresses me. It's heavy compared to the Husky, but like I said, I'm 60 years old, so I'm not just trying to show off anymore, put it that way. But anyway, that's what I recommend looking for. And oh yeah, when I go to get rid of these bikes, I'm gonna get every bit of my money back out of them. Might even make money on them. So that's me. I like to ride for free. Anyway, that's all I wanted to show. Thanks.